Hello and welcome to hobby vlog number 36. If you are not yet a subscriber and you enjoy the content that I do, please do consider subscribing. And don't forget, if you do, to ding that bell and select all so that YouTube will tell you whenever one of my videos goes live. This week I think it's going to be a bit of a shorter video. I've had very little time for hobbying as I get ready for going away, and I've been putting together videos that will be coming out over the next couple of weeks while I'm away, so I don't have to rely on uploading from a hotel. However, I have also packed my bag with a bunch of hobby stuff, so I will be filming and hopefully I'll be able to get something uploaded. We'll see. So fingers crossed there's a vlog next week. But if not, there are lots of content. There's lots of content planned that will be coming in the next 2 weeks, so keep your eyes peeled for that, including one about how I packed to go away. So that will be landing soon. Anyway, I'll shut up and I will run whatever I've managed to do, and I'll be back to say thanks for watching at the end of the video. This evening I'm going to be doing some green stuffing. There's my green stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is my Gandalfing cart. The fireworks just don't stay in. I've super glued them 15 times now, so I'm going to stick them in with some green stuff. The largest thing that I'm going to be doing is finally getting on to sculpting and finishing off this conversion. So this, let me just get that focus in the right place. For some reason it's focusing on the mouse, I don't know. So this here is for my battle companies, and I managed to get him on horse. So I'm converting him, as you can see. I've stuck a washer on his head. So I need to put some green stuff on the top to finish the hat, and green stuff also to do the cloak. And then I also have here some a quiver and a bow, which I also need to stick on. So I'm not going to run the camera because I'm actually in the middle of watching a live stream from Tabletop CP. So I'm just going to turn the camera off and hobby away, and I'll return at the end of the evening to show you what I've done and how I've done it. So yes, that's what I'm going to be doing. My green stuff sculpting is messy, but I'm pretty happy with that. It looks like a cloak that is falling over the back of the horse, the man that's riding it. So what I now need to do, just before I can paint this, which I was going to do this evening, and then I realised I'd forgotten to do to glue these on, is I need to glue on the extra bits. So this bow needs to go on. So it's got some super glue, and it's going to go across his back like so. It will stick to my finger before it will stick to the actual model. Obviously, that's what they do. Let me just prop that up with the bit of XPS and dab a little more glue on next to it, because next to the actual bow you want the quiver, and that, when that's dried, will be ready to prime. So I will leave that to dry now for a little while. If I get time and I've got the energy tonight, then I'm going to actually prime this with the airbrush, which will be my first ever miniature to prime, which I'm quite excited about. But we'll see whether that's today or tomorrow. But at the very least, at least I've stuck those on. So now I'm going to put that into a third hand, which I might do actually now, and then that can dry leaning forwards, so it's going to stay where I want it to. And then we will, as I said, I'll prime that when I've got a bit more when it's done and when I've got the energy for it. So here's the third hand. One clip there. Another clip there, and that now can stay like that until it's dry. Brilliant. Finally back to this, having spent so long not doing it, I'm quite looking forward to this. So what I'm going to be doing is, I've got the island that I've made here, and you can see that is now looking really nice, and it's very strongly covered with the grout and PVA mix, which has worked really well. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do the technique with the clear bathroom sealant again, over the top, all the way over the top of this template underneath, like so. Spread it out. I'm going to press the press the island into this sealant, and then also press some rocks in for the rocks below where the cliff is. And then when that's all pressed in, I will then leave it to dry and then remove it like I did the previous one. So we have pushed all of our, or quite a lot of our sealant over there. I've got my alcohol to go on my finger, and I'm going to start spreading. So I'll put some music on and get this spread out. I'll be back when we're about to start actually adding the details. Okay, so that clearly didn't take very long. There we are. So now let's seal all that up, and this can be pressed in very simply like so. There we are. And when that dries, as that goes off, not dries, as that goes off, that will now be securely in there as an island. And what we'll do is we'll put a couple of rocks coming out away from this, not very many, just two maybe, standing up, maybe one more in the middle. And there we are. That there is going to look great. I will now leave that to dry. Actually, I'm going to do one more. These are actually little shards of cement, which I've found to be quite good for these small scale builds, because they've got so much detail. If I zoom in, try and get it in shot. If I zoom in on those, you can see that they've got a lot of texture and they work really well for this small scale. So anyway, I'm going to leave that to go off, and I'll be back to that hopefully tomorrow to finish off this, and that'll be done then. Great. I've been umming and ahhing a bit on how to do the next step of this, what it should be. There are a couple of things I could do. One of them is work on this and do the continuation of the body with the torn up, and that's something I want to do. But I think I need to get at least the first base of my scenic, so the terrain paint, and the builder sand number 1. So that then when I do that, I can then potentially do another layer, and I'm not going to be getting in the way with paint and covering the tissue paper with paint and sand and annoying myself with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sand on now with the terrain paint, and leave that to go off, and then hopefully get to the tissue paper before I have to go away for business, because I'm not going to be able to take this with me, and I'd really like to get this very close to done before I go. So I'm going to give this a shake. I'll put some music on and I'll just do the sand, and that is my standard process of paint, sand, shake it off, leave it. There we are, for now that'll be done. I may come back and do some more. I quite liked how it was where I accidentally got some soil on one of the wings. I might come back and do that, but I'm going to leave that to dry now, sleep on it, it's getting late. It's time for me to finish up, and I'll be back potentially tomorrow to do the final bits, and maybe even dress the front. So let's see if I can get the time to do that. Let's have some fun then, I hope. I've not done this before, so I'm trying something out brand new on camera for the first time without practicing, which is something which I love doing because it never goes terribly wrong. What I'm going to be doing is putting on the tissue paper, which you can see here, onto these broken spars. And if this works well, I might do some more at the back also, but we'll see. So I'm going to lob a bunch of blob of PVA onto my plate, and then I'm going to just start dressing it, and I've no idea how this is going to work. I've got scissors, but I'm also going to do tears, and I just don't know how it's going to work. I think I'm going to do something just like this, and try to paint it on, but I don't know how well it's going to stick. So the idea I thought I would do would be to paint the whole of the tissue paper with PVA, completely soak it with PVA, and then get some tweezers, which I don't have to hand, so just 1 second, but I do have to hand, but I don't have in my hand. There we are, they're right here in front of me. Get some tweezers and drape it on. That was the idea I had. I've no idea if this is going to work. I also don't know whether I shouldn't have painted this first, but I think painting it first is the wrong thing to do. Because what I'm going to need to do is come in and apply some paint to this. So, let's see what we can do. I might put music on, I might not. I might mutter and decide to include you in that muttering. I might just put music on and save you that bother. I'll be back at the end either way. There we are. I think I'm happy with that. Let me turn it round and zoom it in a bit. Need to get it into the centre of the camera. There we are. Zoom that in a bit. I think I'm relatively happy with that. I let that dry. It should dry quite hard because it's got a lot of PVA on it. And then what I can do is I can come in with the black paint and with the green paint, and I can adjust the colours of the actual tissue paper. But that wasn't so bad. Using tweezers and painting it, soaking it with PVA, it was quite easy to position, and it stuck okay, and I think it will actually look quite good. It will look like a ripped front of a plane, hopefully. Well, we'll see. I will show you what it looks like. It's going to fiddle now. There we are. It lifted a bit. There we are. I'll show you what it looks like when it's dried. Just going to make sure that it's accurately married to the top of the fuselage there. Cool. This should now be dried or gone off and be able to be peeled off of the back. So I'm going to do that now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the trees which populate the centre of this island on the original. Again, that's still a little bit kind of like weird underneath, so I will need to set that onto a metal tray so it doesn't stick to this. So I will get that, and I'll be back shortly to do the next step, but that peeled off really nicely. There we are. So we have ourselves a island, which looks really good actually. I'm quite pleased with it. And the simple thing I'm going to do now, and this is basically the final thing because this is really simple, maybe I might do a bit of a wash over it, but at the moment I'm not thinking that I'll do that. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to stick my homemade clump foliage on. So paint PVA on, like so, where we want that to go, and stick it down. And this is going to be basically representing trees, because the scale obviously is very much smaller than I'm used to. So we're going to soak that in PVA and stick it down. So I will pop some music on while I'm doing this, and you can watch the process. And also not hear me swearing when it becomes difficult, because I get my hands covered in glue and it all sticks to my hands and I drop them on the floor like that. Let's put some music on and save your ears. Okay, I think that's going to be enough for now. I'm going to let that go off and dry and then come back to that tomorrow morning. It's getting towards the end of my hobby time now as well, so that's a good time to finish. It's working how I want it to, but as always with this clump foliage, it's a real struggle to get it to stick down initially, but I'll do that and then I can put another coat over the top, and then maybe put a bit of flock on, and then, or maybe even some very short static grass, and then we'll be done. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this technique is working out though. It's looking really good. These have stuck down pretty well. However, I'm going to put another coat, and I'm going to do it with my watered down PVA this time. So I'm just going to coat over the top to make sure that I get a really good bond, because these are gaming pieces and they could get knocked, and I want them to be nice and solid. And once this is dry, I might do another application, or I might even do another application now actually, of the clump foliage, just to fill in these gaps. I want it to look quite a tangled, foresty type environment, not a quite separate trees. So yeah, so I'll do that. As I say, I'll probably get some more, get them down and add some more on. I'll pop music on and you can watch. Good, happy with that. Gonna let that to dry again, and pretty much nearly done, I think. I'll bring you back if there's any other processes on it, but otherwise I'll wrap this up. There you are. In that time, even though it was only 20 minutes of video time, I've actually managed to lose all of my hair, because I've cut it so that I look a bit tidier for work. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a short one, like I said. I did have some progress though. I'm pleased that I made progress on both the Sarissa build and the island for Oak and Iron, and they're both looking great. I've got so much more hobbying done this week than shown in this vlog, but just because I don't show the Battle Games in Middle-earth stuff that I'm doing in the vlog, because that would be silly, it doesn't really show maybe what I'm achieving. But what I'll do is I'll actually just quickly give you a quick sneaky peeky pan, and we will go round past the door and we will drop the camera down, and there you are. That is not next time's Battle Games in Middle-earth, but the time after. I've been teasering this on Instagram, so if you're following my Instagram then you will have seen it. Anyway, super production skills there, I'm sure you agree. Right, I'll wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate the time that you put into watching my videos. It's really, really cool to see that. If you have any comments, drop them in the box below. I always reply, and I love to hear from you. And I'll close by saying thank you so much for watching this Beard Clipper video. And please, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay well.